First question. The riverfront is a very important asset to Hopewell. How are you going to work to develop the waterfront in the city?
Well, I think the key thing in developing the waterfront, and Hopewell's been talking about this for the last 20 years, what are we going to do with the river, and what are we going to do with the river? And I think now we are seeing that we are making an effort to develop the river. We've developed the marina. We've improved that greatly. We're working on trying to bring a restaurant up on the hill at the marina. We're working with people to develop the Bluffs property, which is on the water. We've got the Patrick Copeland site, which we are working with a developer to bring a project there. So we are actively working to involve the river and to take advantage of the river. We did canoe rentals and kayak rentals at the marina this past summer, and that apparently went very well. So we are actively pursuing developing the river as opposed to talking about it like we've done in the past. I'm very hopeful that we're going to have some good results.
Okay. Second question. The East Broadway Bridge has been closed since April due to a failed inspection. Several meetings have been held and residents in that area are unhappy with the response of the city and the lack of any action. What do you think the solution to the bridge should be? How will that be funded?
That's a tough question because you're dealing with a relatively small percentage of our population that have a significant inconvenience, and I understand that. But as I understand in talking with the city manager and the city engineer, it's a difficult process. That there isn't anybody, excuse me, that wants to come in and fix the bridge and repair the bridge and put their name and their company's reputation on it. So it looks like at this point we are probably resigned to short-term making that a pedestrian bike bridge, long-term going to VDOT and working with them to try to get funding to come in. The weight limits are extremely higher now, more high than they were back when that bridge was originally built. So we've got to do it for emergency vehicles, fire trucks, buses, when we do a vehicle bridge. So it's going to be a long-term process. Short-term, pedestrian, bicycle, long-term, getting it back to operational for vehicles.
Okay, third question. How can we bring more jobs and industry to Hopewell?
That's a good question, and that's another question that council is actively working on doing. We are pursuing, as I said earlier, developers to bring in things. We're working on a potential project out on Route 36 to develop that shopping center area out there, and that holds big promise for us, and we're very excited about that. Industry is a tough thing because we don't have a lot of land. It would have to be light industry, small industry, but retail is a very distinct possibility, and it's a medium that we need to reach out and try to get, and we're working hard to do that with downtown and on Route 36 and some existing businesses that we're hoping to expand. So we're in that, and we're working on that. Development and bringing in business and bringing in retail is a long-term process, and it's very frustrating, but it takes time. But we have to do it because we need to increase our tax base.
Okay, fourth question. How do we need to continue to develop retail in downtown Hopewell?
Well, we're working actively on that. The Downtown Partnership and Evan Kaufman are very active in talking to people to bring in restaurants and boutiques. My vision for downtown Hopewell, when I was young and growing up, it was the center of commerce for the city. I don't think it's going to be the center of commerce for the city. I think that's going to be on Route 36. My hope and dream for downtown Hopewell is a boutique type thing where you've got novelty stores and boutique shops and Wi-Fi, and people can sit on the sidewalk and enjoy their coffee and maybe an adult beverage, use their computers. You've got music playing, and it's just a peaceful place to be. I want downtown to be our identity. I want Route 36 to be our economic engine.
And final question. City Council has been working to continue to beautify and clean up the city. What further efforts do you think need to be done in code enforcement to continue to clean up the city?
That's a good question, and that's a hard question because we are putting ourselves in position to impose our will on individual homeowners and property owners. But it has to be done. We have got to clean up our city. All these other things that we're trying to do and bring in industry and bring in retail and develop the riverfront and develop 36 in downtown, it's not going to be but so successful if the rest of our city is in disrepair. So we have to get people to take pride in their property. We've got to put more teeth in code enforcement. The big thing with code enforcement is not necessarily the code people writing citations. It's the judicial end of the process, upholding that and penalizing people for coming into the court system. So, we've got to find a happy medium between writing the citations and getting the courts to support us to do it. But we're committed to doing it. We hope the courts will get on board with us, and we're going to make Hopewell a place to enjoy to come into.